today what we're going to do is we're going to work on the area problems. The setup is a little different than what we did yesterday. Remember, yesterday we did perimeter. Remember, when we solve word problems, the first step is to read the whole problem. Okay, so the area of a rectangle is 18 square feet. The length of the rectangle is twice its width. Find the length and the width of the rectangle. Right? So you think about it. I've got this rectangle and I know the area. I just got to find the length and width. Okay? So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to draw a picture very similar to what we did with perimeter. I've got L and I've got W. And remember, those can flip-flop. L doesn't have to be on the top. It can be on the side. And I need to define my variables. That was the other step. So L is length. Width is W. What is the formula for the area of a rectangle? Okay, perimeter is adding up all the sides. Do I multiply all the sides together? I multiply, yes, I multiply two of the sides. So it's length times width. Sometimes you'll see base times height. That's a parallelogram, which is what a rectangle is. But we're going to use length times width. Right? So when we set these up, this is the first thing that goes on your paper. You draw a picture, you draw your length, you draw your width, you make it visual for yourself, okay? So that's how you start it off. All right, now let's add some information to that. I know that the area is 18 square feet. So A equals 18 FT, and I'm going to put a little 2 in the upper right-hand corner of the label. That tells me it's two-dimensional. I've just left perimeter, and I'm going to area. That 2 must be there, and it must be small and to the upper right-hand corner. Okay? So now, let's take a look at this a little bit more. I know that area, I'm going to take that area formula and I'm going to go 18 equals length times width. That's one of my equations. The other equation says the length of the rectangle is twice its width. So which is bigger, the length or the width? The length. So I'm going to go L equals, and how much bigger? So 2W. It's not 2 more than, it's twice. Okay? 2 more than would be addition, wouldn't it? Yeah. This is multiplication. Great. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my substitution. And I'm going to circle what L equals, and I'm going to circle the L in my problem, and I'm going to substitute that in. So 18 equals parentheses 2W, parentheses W, and you need parentheses. We okay? Yeah? All right. Let's keep going. So 18 equals 2, and this is going to be W, what do you think? W times W is? No, it's not C. W squared. So now we're dabbling a little bit in exponents. Right? Now, there's something that you might want to put on your paper kind of off to the side so that you remember this. Little review from other years. If I have W plus W, that's 2W, right? If I have a watermelon and I add a watermelon, I got 2 watermelons, correct? When I have a W and I multiply it by another W, I get W squared. The 2 needs to be small and needs to be the upper right-hand corner. That's what that means. So make sure that you remember that. Right? So that's kind of a little note, blast from your past. All right. So I get W squared. Now, how do I solve this? Well, first of all, a lot of kids get itchy. They see that squared and they're like, oh, gotta get rid of it. Oh, I don't like it. Oh, it's scary. It's not. Don't worry about it. Just leave it alone and treat this as just like a W. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2. So 9 equals W squared. Now I got to get rid of the squared. How do I get rid of it? Do you remember? I'm going to square root it, right? So I'm going to square root both sides. When I square root that, I get W equals, what's the square root of 9? It is 3. So I end up with 3 feet, and it's not squared, it's just feet. Now you can use your calculator for that, but hopefully you don't have to. When you take the square root of a number, remember what number times what number gives me 9. And they have to be the same. Okay, so that makes sense. 3 times 3 is 9, and that's why I get 3. Now, am I done? Did I answer my question? I did not. I've got to find the what? I got to find the length. Well, looky, right up there. L equals 2W, right? So L equals 2 times 3. L gives me 6 feet, and I'm done. Make sure you have your labels. Now, be really, really careful, because what students tend to do is rather than divide by 2 on this step right here, right, they want to square root it and then they want to divide it. You got to divide first and then you square root it. Think, I'm going to get my W by itself and then I'm going to take care of that too. Questions? All right, what I want you to do right now is there is an area worksheet, just like the primer one from the other day, in your Schoology. Grab that area worksheet and we're going to set up a few of these together.